some parts of this presentation techniques has been already presented. Actually, what we learn by sensory organs, if we touch or smell, we then memorize 6% of it. If it's just listening, it's 11%. If we add visual aids, it may reach up to 83%. Remembering after just after a meeting is maybe quite high, but in 3 days we lost a lot of things. If it is an oral unidirectional, it's quite less. If it's a written with reading, it's in 3 days only 10% is in our memory. Visual and oral, it's 65%. If we interact, we make our presentation interactive by discussing with the audience, and it may reach up to 70%. We are losing a lot of information just after the talk, after presentation. What about the ratio with the duration? If the duration of a presentation is too long, we forgot too much things. Better is short talks. 20 minutes talk, we can memorize 90%. If it's an 80 minutes talk, we can memorize just 62%. What should be the order of a talk be? First, we must start with introduction, then main section, and then conclusion. So we must not finish any talk without making a small summary, a few words. The success of a talk depends mostly on the speaker's belief on himself or herself and the subject that he or she is speaking, and the speaker's enthusiasm for making the talk better. So a speaker must look at the eyes of the participants. It's better that if the speaker can call the participants with their names, if he or she knows. He can interrupt sometimes with jokes. Speed and tone of talk is very important. Using body language and mimics is very important. And using all parts of the lecture room is also important. Instead of staying on a corner like this, if the speaker turn around, walk around the room, it will be better. So presentations must be short, attentive, comprehensive, and clear. And the presentations must have punctuations, frames, colors, order. And then the colors must be maybe with antagonist colors. Actually, like you see here, in a black background, you can use white or orange colors, which is more clearly seen and understood. But if you use red or blue colors like this, it's not very understandable. If on a white background, if you use the colors like this, it's not easy, but these are better. Actually, probably in a white background, very black or near to black colors is better. if you look at the presentation slide, the order of the location must start from up, down, and then in the other column, up to down. And you must not present 3 to 5 slides in more than 3 to 5 slides in 1 minute. And slides must be less wordy and contain letters, images, and sometimes empty slides. Although other friends also have given some bad examples, I will give you some bad examples like this. This is always in Turkish, but this is a classification of thoracal lumbar fractures in one slide full with many words. Nobody can understand or memorize a slide like this. If you look here, many mistakes have been done. There is a MCCORMACK load sharing classification. On the right up, you see the paper's title, but it's not readable. So, although there is a conclusion sentence in the bottom, cannot replace other classification. It's a complementary, but you get confusion with the body deformity correction, such things. So it's very confusing. What about this? This is like writing a paper. References were presented in one slide. Or if you look at this, this is a case presentation. Actually, the presenter did not change the colors of the. They are bluish. If he has done that black and white colors, it would be nicer. And two sagittal images are in the squares in the different corners, and the direct X-ray is in the different corner. But looking at the right side, the others, MR and CT scan sagittal images, are looking at the left. So probably a person in the audience swing around these items and then cannot come to the real object of that slide. That there is one fracture actually, but is it necessary to place a CT scan? Is it necessary to place a very less very words in the direct X-ray? I don't think it's necessary. What about this? This slide contains one sagittal CT image, which is not necessary. Actually, only one small part placed here. What about this slide? Although there is some words and sentences up there, but you look at the pictures downwards. There is a good landscape or architecture of a city, and again, here you always concentrate the pictures, photographs, or cartoons there, and you cannot concentrate of what he wants to say. Again, free from consent components. What is the meaning of that cartoon? You cannot understand. Or what's the meaning of that big building on the right downward side? Similar speaker slides. You always concentrate the landscape or other things. Yes, although this is a percutaneous minimal invasive surgery, there's a big mosque there in the bottom. What are the most common presentation mistakes? Reading slides only is very common. Actually, even there are some speakers who are writing all their thoughts on the slides and then just reading them. Given too much information, as if he's very knowledgeable, very nice guy. So then the speakers try to persuade the audience. Changing attention to the audience to other subjects, like the one I have shown you recently, and the persons who does not obey the time. So take home message from my presentation is the speakers must use communication skills. In fact, it's better to have an interactive presentation instead of just showing slides and talking. Must use always body language, must be clear, must obey the time and try to make short talks instead of very long talks. Thank you for listening.